Hi everyone, welcome to another reading vlog. This one is going to be my Christmas in July themed reading vlog. I have done a Christmas in July themed something every year for the last couple of years, and it's just a thing that I do where I try and read a couple of Christmas romances around July 25th. In the case of this video, the video will be going up roughly around July 25th, so this is a few days beforehand. It's actually the 20th of July, and yeah, I thought I would start reading. I'm going to try and read for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then hopefully get the vlog uploaded ready for July 25th. I have quite a few Christmas themed ebooks on my Kindle app that I need to get to that have been there for a while. I have sort of prioritized the ones that I'm most interested in reading right now, and I'll go through some of those in a minute. I also have A Holly Jolly Ever After by Sierra Simone and Julie Murphy, which is a NetGalley arc, but I didn't realize it was 432 pages long. So I would like to read that this weekend, but I don't know when I'm going to read that because I'm also going to two hockey games, one on Friday, one on Saturday night. So we shall see if I get to that one. Otherwise I'm going to just pick some shorter things because I'm me and I'll have to read that at some other point. I will show you what I have out on Kindle and which ones I'm most eager to try and get to in the next couple of days. We're just gonna look at this on my Kindle app. So this is my unread Christmas folder. So I've got a couple of anthologies which I won't be reading. I would like to read Snowed In by Allyson Lindt. I read one for my Stuff Your Kindle vlog, but I have another one. I would also like to read Let Your Hearts Be Light by Quinn. The Grump Who Saved Christmas maybe is kind of on my radar. I would like to read Unwrapped by Gadziala. All I Want for Christmas Is Them by Adora. Crooks, I think, is another White Shoes book. Oh gosh, I thought I had more on my list. No, I'm being too hard on myself. Those were my main ones that I wanted to try and read, plus A Holly Jolly Ever After if I get to it. And if I get through all of those and I have a bit of time left, then I will try and pick up whatever these other ones are. Can you tell I'm a professional? Who lets me film these things, honestly? Okay, so I think I'm going to start with Unwrapped by Gadziala because I have not read a Gadziala book in a while, and I've had this one for ages. So I'm going to start with this. I'm hoping I might be able to read two tonight because this one is quite short and the Allyson Lindt one is also very short, so maybe I can just back-to-back them tonight. Fingers crossed. But first, dinner. Welcome to Lazy Weeknight Dinners with Steph, which is leftover chicken, egg, and a couscous salad. Whatever was left in my fridge. All right, so dinner is done, and I'm going to start, not that we can see on here because the light is not going to let us, Unwrapped by Gadziala. Let's do this. All right, so I finished Unwrapped by Gadziala, which is super short. It is a Christmas themed story. It is an insta-lust, insta-attraction, insta-love sort of story, but it was very fun and just very easy to read. So this is the story of Lyra, who has never really had a Christmas. Her parents were both alcoholics who ended up in a car accident when she was 10 years old, so content warnings for that, and she ended up in the system, and so she's never really had a Christmas. And she's about to turn 30 and she decides she's going to take the money that she's saved up, she's going to book a cabin and she's going to do all the Christmassy things just for herself. But on the way to the cabins there's a massive snowstorm and she gets hit by a car. The guy who hits her ends up being Jack, who is, you know, appalled that he's hit someone anyway. He offers her a place to stay because it'll take an hour at the earliest to get to a hospital, and so they go back to his place. He fixes up a couple of cuts and lets her just sort of have a rest. Despite the fact that he is fairly anti-Christmas because he has also lost his family in a car accident, I think 6 years earlier, he lets her go to town on his place. They cut down a tree, she decorates it, they make gingerbread houses and cookies and do everything, and of course catch feelings for one another. So like, it's very short, it's very easy to read. There's a really cool side character, Felix. I need to see if he's in another book because he's an author and he's just great. I loved Felix in this story, and yeah, this was a fun one. Of course, I mean, they end up separated at one point and they have to work their way back to each other, but it's less than 200 pages, so I had a good time. So now I'm going to try and read this Allyson Lindt book, and I can't remember what it's called. Okay, so it's called Snowed In, because of course it is, and of course I forgot that name. It's only the most obvious name possible. I'm about to start Snowed In, but I got distracted because I had a phone call from a family member asking me if I could help proofread a CV. So I've spent about 25 minutes doing that. But I'm excited to read now. Something that's not a CV, because CV reading is hard, but that's okay. I can do proofreading. Proofreading is fine. I think I'm going to DNF this one. Just not feeling it. The dialogue and the characterization in this one, not fantastic. Not keeping my attention. So I am 22% of the way, and this is only like 80 pages long. And I suppose I could skim it to the end. I just can't be bothered. So we will not be doing that. But from what I gather, it is about Evan and Aria, who are a couple. They are away for Christmas, and Aria's best friend Jensen comes up. And there's the whole, the guys are both very attractive, and they're uneasy around her because Aria can't have a friend who is a guy. And I'm just like, pass. Pass. I know it probably changes, and I'm pretty sure this is a sword crossing book, but at this point, pass. Okay, so I just read, totally forgot that I had this. It was a random short story by Jenny Redford. It is a hockey romance called Christmas Goals. It's not very long, it's like 3 chapters. And I think I got this when one of those sites had a, you know, a free book by various authors. Anyway, this one is about Sabrina and Joe. They've obviously had a one-night stand. There's no steam in this. She wakes up after the one-night stand and is sneaking out of Joe's place and doesn't have a jacket and ends up taking this hockey jersey that is lying in his room and figures she'll just drop it back, you know, another time. He ends up finding her in a diner still wearing the jersey, same morning, and demands the jersey back because it's his lucky jersey. And she strikes a deal with him that she will give the jersey back if he comes as a fake boyfriend to her family Christmas thing on the weekend. And so they agree to go. And it's very short and very cute and just, you know, a slice of life story. Like there's nothing in it. Like it's set at Christmas time, like super fast read. So I decided to be wild and just, you know, read another one. But they're all short, and honestly, like this last one just took me an hour to read. I think it's 198 pages, but it's very, very fast. So I read All I Want for Christmas Is Them by Adora Crooks. Now this is book 3 in a series, and while yes, you could probably say that reading the first 2 books in the series would help this one make more sense, but only in more sense in that you would have more context for the story, because I read this and it was totally fine. I'm kind of curious to go back and read the other story because this one is about Otto, who is polyamorous and bisexual, and he's in a relationship with Naomi, and they end up in a relationship with his roommate and best friend Diego. Now Otto's parents are in a polyamorous relationship. He has 2 dads and a mum and a sister. Otto also had a kidney transplant when he was a kid, and in this book he's in renal failure, and there is a whole lot of stuff that goes on around that. So there is a lot of medical stuff in here. There is also mentions of a parent who has died and the people who are grieving said parent. Not one of Otto's parents, it's Diego's mum who's passed away. And really the book is initially about Otto and Naomi and Diego ending up in this unexpected polyamorous relationship, and then dealing with Otto, who is feeling conflicted about having a new transplant. And there's a lot of reasons why, but you know, that will be triggering for people because he is determined not to have another transplant, and that has a huge impact on the people around him. This does happen in HEA, so everyone is fine by the end of the book. It was interesting, but like it was a very fast-paced, very easy to read book. I was very pleasantly surprised by it, and I'm glad that I read it. So I'll have to keep Adora Crooks in mind in the future because yeah, this wasn't bad. And also the cool thing about this, so it was mostly their relationship, but we also got point of views from his parents and their relationship. So you kind of get a bonus romance in here, and his parents are kind of, their relationship is in trouble, and it's how they come back from that. So yeah, you're getting quite a bit in a very short book. So yeah, it was fun and interesting. All right, I'm not reading any more tonight. I will figure out if I'm going to read something on the way to the hockey tomorrow, and then I will check in with you then. Hi, I'm home. It's like 12:30 and I need to go to bed. I actually got home like an hour ago and had a shower, and I wanted to put the clips together for the hockey game tonight, and I couldn't remember the song that played as I was leaving. It was an ABBA song. Anyway, I remember as I was walking out thinking, use this song, because I like using the songs that they use at the games. Anyway, like, use this song. I get on the tram, totally forgotten what the song is. So I came home, had a shower, and then jumped back on to watch the stream, or well, opened up the streamed game and just sort of fast forwarded to the end and found the song. That's fine. And just started watching the start of the game because a lot happened. There were like four or five penalties in the first 10 minutes of this game because it's the two Melbourne teams playing. So there are 10 teams total. There are 2 Melbourne teams, 2 Sydney teams, and the 2 Melbourne teams get 4 derby games. The Sydney teams get 4 derby games. I'm sure it's the same everywhere else, particularly in Australia. If you have 2 home teams playing each other, things happen. And yeah, this was one of those games. Like, it was really fun to watch. Mustangs won 11-4, but yeah. I didn't realise though that the Melbourne Ice's goalie, this was his first starting game. He did pretty well considering he was playing the current top team in their conference, so good for him. And his defence needed to help him out a lot more. But anyway, what they needed to do was stay out of the penalty box. So anyway, I'm home. I really need to go to bed. I'm waiting to hear back if Dad's coming with me tomorrow. He was at the doctor's on Friday afternoon, well, yesterday afternoon, and they send him home. So I'm just waiting to see if he's coming with me tomorrow night. If he does, we'll probably, instead of catch public transport in, we'll probably get an Uber or a cab or something, just so he doesn't have to walk as far. Stay tuned. There'll be more hockey tomorrow. Oh, I did actually, why am I saying that? I did start the new Sierra Simone Julie Murphy book. I'm about 40 pages in, so far from the first 40 pages. I can't remember the characters' names, but then again, I did, you know, start reading it like 8 hours ago and then watched a hockey game. So stay tuned. I will come back to that tomorrow. Hi guys, it's Saturday night. I have not updated this vlog at all today, except for maybe the clip from the 24-hour readathon that Izzy and May are hosting. It's like 9:30 at night. I just got back from the hockey tonight. Dad did come with me, which was great. We had a great time. Mustangs lost. I'm very sad. I'll try and insert some clips of, I think I mostly got stuff from the warm-up at the beginning. But anyway, it was the top 2 teams playing in the conference ladder, so it was, you know when you have a bad feeling about it? That was my bad feeling going into this game. But it was a really good game to watch. It was very entertaining, and you know, you can tell that they're both the top teams. They had the 2 top goaltenders for the league and the top goal scorer, actually the top 2 goal scorers playing, and yeah, it's just unfortunate. But even if the Sydney Bears win tonight, well, they won tonight, and if they win tomorrow, Mustangs still stay on top of the ladder for at least 1 more week. So there is that. So not the desired outcome, but it was still a fun night out, and I'm glad I got to take Dad to a Mustangs game. So yay. But now I'm going to go to sleep. Actually, I'm going to sleep. I'm gonna have a shower. I'm gonna eat some food. I might watch something just to chill my brain out, because I am wired again. Also, I just did a clip of the incident last night at the game where two 2 players, one from each team, got tangled up in their shoelaces. Yeah.
Oh, hello. As well, we've got two players. Are they tangled up here? They are tangled up here. Oh my goodness. I love this. You know what? Melbourne derbies. We scrap, we argue, but we love each other. We can't be separate. We come together and kiss cam was during the intermission.
That is my highlight of the weekend, is just that entire sequence. It was so funny. I am, yeah, going to sort out my life for tonight because I don't even know what's going on. I read an extra 60 or 80 pages of A Holly Jolly Ever After, whatever it is that I'm reading, while I was on the sprints with Izzy and May and Heather and Megan. I'll try and finish it tomorrow. At this rate, I don't think I'm going to film a books beside my bed video for this week. I need a weekend off. So I'm going to do this vlog and that's probably about it. I'm still awake. I decided that I'm going to try and see how much I can get through of A Holly Jolly Ever After. And I am, gosh, halfway through. And I figured out why this book is so bloody long. Now, I'm going to sound a bit negative here. The book itself is fine, right? Like it's not badly written, but this book is 430 pages long. It is a Christmas rom-com, and we've just hit the halfway mark and suddenly we're getting a 6 months later time jump, because the first half is Winnie and Callum shooting this Christmas movie, right? And Winnie has been raised in purity culture, which I know about from listening to other people talk. It's not like I'm not saying it's not a thing over here, but it's not certainly not something that I've been involved in. Like it just isn't. So she's dealing with that, and the fact that she's divorced her husband. She was essentially forced into this marriage, and it's horrible, and she's estranged from her parents because her parents are deep in purity culture, etc. Callum, on the other hand, just sleeps around whenever he feels like it, and the two of them hit it off on set. He has had a crush on her for ages. They've known each other for years. They both got into acting around about the same time, etc. But it's the first time they've worked together, and she is very uncomfortable with the sex scenes because she's never really experienced that, and so they end up having sex lessons, because of course they do. And of course, you know, the whole miscommunication trope has just come in because he's had a conversation with someone, he's not thought about what he said, he doesn't know that she has overheard him, and suddenly we now have a 6 months later. Not my favorite. Generally, I think there are better ways to write conflict. I was not the biggest fan of the first book in this series, but I love Sierra Simone, and I know Julie Murphy's books are really well loved. I don't actually like these books, I don't think. They're supposed to be rom-coms, and I get it. And look, no offense to anyone who does enjoy them or who enjoyed the first book. Like as I said, they're not badly written. They're definitely not for me, because I think they're trying to shove the humor and the rom-comness down your throat. They are very sex positive, they are very diverse, they are dealing with heavy things that need to be talked about. I get that, and that is not my issue because I actually like those elements. But everything else is being shoved down your throat as being, look how clever we are. If it was like one thing here or there that's woven in, I would get it, but you're literally being hit in the face with pop culture references and things that are, you know, are really popular within the book community and the romance community. And I don't know, maybe I'm the only person who feels this way. Maybe I'm just being bar humbug, but I like the other Christmas books that I read. I would just like them, I don't even know where I'm going with this. I would DNF it, except I actually want to review it, and I want to see if they can pull it out of the bag, because honestly, a 6 month time jump 50% of the way through the book, that's 2 books. It's 2 books. I did promise myself that I wasn't going to push through on books that I wasn't enjoying, and that I would DNF and whatnot, but I think I want to see this through, because as I said, like there are important things being talked about in this book, just unlike everything else around that stuff. I don't know what to do. And not 2 minutes later, and I'm out. I'm DNFing it. we're going the secret baby route, and I can't. I actually genuinely did not think I would see the day where I would DNF a Sierra Simone book. But here we are. When I sit here and I'm just reading and going, why? Why? We're DNFing. Goodbye book. All right, so happy Sunday. I have decided, after my clear meltdown last night, that I'm reading Let Your Hearts Be Light by Faye Quinn. It is utterly adorable. I am currently 39% of the way in the story and loving it. It is about Baxter and Paxton, who are both single dads. Baxter adopted his niece when her parents died in a car accident, and Paxton has been a single dad for his son's whole life. And the two kids conspire to put their dad's names into a hat for something that the school is doing, in that they're trying to help families connect, particularly families with single parent households, by, you know, randomly assigning them buddies for the holiday season. And the kids conspire that their dads end up together because the kids like each other. And it's very, very sweet. It is very much a grumpy sunshine. Baxter just does everything for everyone else. He puts a smile on his face despite the fact that he is dealing with some mental health issues and that not everything is okay. He's the town baker. He loves Christmas. And Paxton is very much a grump. And for the first couple of chapters of the book, he really doesn't believe that Baxter can be that happy and that that smile has to be fake. And when Baxter finally confronts Paxton on why he hates him, he says that. And he says, you smile too much. And Baxter just loses it. In that he says, dude, I'm not happy. Like, I'm miserable, but what can you do? And I suppose the thing that I love the most about this is just how dedicated these guys are to their kids. Like, they are just all in for them. And the way that they're falling for one another is just so freaking adorable. So this is what I needed to read. This is the Christmas story that I needed to read this weekend. Also, we are on sprints. Alright, so I finished Let Our Hearts Be Light, and this book was just ridiculously sweet. And also very steamy, and just a delightful time. No third act breakup. I loved the way that the kids sort of schemed their way into spending more time with one another, and the story is really not about them, and it does not end the way that the kids think it will end. But I just loved Baxter and Paxton's relationship and the way that they just get each other. Like, Paxton recognizes that Baxter is dealing with a lot, and rather than telling him what to do, gives him suggestions and a pathway to follow, but Baxter has to do the job. And also in the background, Baxter had lost his bakery. It had to be shut down for whatever reason, and so he's stressed about that. He's running his business out of his home, and Paxton sees this as an opportunity to do something for him and fixes up this bakery, recruits the help of people in town and Baxter's daughter and everyone who love Baxter and who want to see him genuinely happy, and they fix up this bakery for him. Like, talk about grand gesture scene. It's just lovely. I really adored it. But yes, I think this is going to be the end of my Christmas in July vlog. I've had some hits, I've had some misses, and I've just generally enjoyed sort of trying a few new books. I'm really glad I read the Jessica Gadziala book. I loved Faye Quinn's book. I just thought that was really fun. Yeah, like, I just read some really interesting books, things I wouldn't necessarily have picked up anytime soon. So I'm glad that I read them. And yeah, it was good fun. Here I am continuing my Christmas in July theme. I'm glad that I put some time into this, and hopefully you enjoyed it. So I will see you guys in my next vlog. In the comments, feel free to leave any kind of Christmas themed emoji that you feel like. I hope that wherever you're in the world, you're staying safe and healthy, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.